sector should do something like, when they know somebody's in their final year, maybe they allow them go through a month or so, or they introduce a course and make it mandatory for them to be able to go out there and face the outside world when it comes to interviews, when it comes to networking and all of that. I've seen super amazing, intelligent people lost opportunities because they were not confident, and those who were not so smart but have built their confidence are able to get the job and get these networks and get these opportunities. Especially when you come from a Yoruba or Igbo family where you don't have to look at your dad in the eye. You get that kind of thing. So you have to learn to look at people in the eye when you talk to them. It makes them believe that you are not up to something. You're not hiding anything in your cupboard.
We're going to school or having to attend different schools, all right? They just teach us, we only have syllabus on what they've been doing so far in past years, and there's no trend of bringing in new things.
So the next time you complain about not getting a job, think about how well your CV is prepared. Assess your communication skills during the interview and think about how well you presented yourself.
It for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Booking November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on PlusTvAfrica.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Osayome Saleh, and today I have a full house. But first, let us give our guest the honor of introducing her first. My very good friend and sister from my days at TVC, Olaide. Laide Orapo, 247.
All the time, you know.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's so nice to be on TV. You don't know what you did to me. It's almost as if you rejuvenated something that has been missing.
Oh my goodness.
Let's not talk about it.
But how have you been?
I've been great. You know, when we were in TV together back in the day, the issue was that I was raising kids all by myself. Mm-hmm. And now they're growing, 24 and 20. And now somebody's dad has to find me, you know?
Not somebody's son.
No!
It's somebody's dad.
I miss her by this person, mama, so somebody's dad.
Well, how have you been? How's Nigeria? Because you came back.
You know me, I'm
I mean, people are jackpying like you decided to come back to Nigeria. Why?
Ooh, the abroad is not for me. I've always known that. Since I was about 15, that my late sister was trying to get me to get the stay. The abroad is not for me, it depresses me. So having gone there and been on this journey for 20 years, K20 is 20, it was something that I had to psych myself. Almost like they gave me a life sentence. And I was waiting for the judge to give me an appeal. That was how I saw it. And then make the best of it, eat the meals that they give you, you know. Imagine being here and being in a salon in Lekki and saying, I feel like eating amala. And they say there is Yakoyo somewhere here. You don't get that abroad.
Absolutely.
And then you get fed up of all those Oyinbo meals. People say it all the time. I've even stopped saying it to people that I can't stand being abroad and I'm here to stay and whatever it takes, I'm going to give it to it. People are like, why? especially with dual citizenship, they're like, you know, what's your issue? But please, that's my desire.
Absolutely. How are you, Isi? How have you been?
You can see.
You had a long break this week. You are enjoying cruising.
I needed it. Honestly, I totally needed it. And I'm so glad to be back as well. But to say the least, you're just the vibe. My goodness, you're just the vibe. There's a lot of vibe going on.
Lady has so much energy.
Thank you. People notice that all the time, I must say.
Absolutely.
No, my fine. You look amazing this evening. How are you?
Thank you very much.
Stunning. How was Toastmasters today?
I was elated. I was actually elated to be physically present in almost 2 years. I really, really missed the physical connection. You know, it's totally different when you're on a virtual platform. So it was my peak of the day until traffic started.
You know, that thing actually does require a lot of dedication.
Absolutely.
With all my grand, I don't have that.
It's not even just about commitment. You also see yourself grow.
Absolutely.
When you learn how to speak well, when you learn how to communicate effectively, people listen more attentively.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
So today we are talking, thank God Norma is on set. You will teach us how to
Say it
to power. Because we're talking criticism, right?
Absolutely.
Our Nigerian leaders, do they really, are they open to criticism? And here's what we found as today's quote. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive. This from John F. Kennedy. All right, criticism is defined as the expression of disapproval of someone or something on the basis of perceived faults or mistake. A critic helps you see flaws, and constructive criticism improves your quality of work. Now it's our ladies' night out, and Isi, Norma, Lydie, and I are asking, how open is the Nigerian government as it relates to criticism? And when we open our phone lines, we really love to hear your answer, even though we kind of have an idea what the answer would be. But first, let's take a break to see what we found in the news. You're still watching Ways. Now, Conflict Resolution Day is a global event intended to promote the concept of peaceful conflict resolution, created in 2005 by the Association for Conflict Resolution, that's ACR. It is now an annual celebration, primarily an educational event. The main purpose of Conflict Resolution Day is to increase awareness of the various peaceful, non-violent methods of conflict resolutions available, such as mediation and arbitration. Now, in addition, the ACR hopes to promote their use in various different avenues of life, including in schools, workplace, within the legal system, and even amongst family. Spend a day today, if you've not done that or you don't know anything about it, learning about the contributions of some great peaceful conflict mediators today. There were some people that decided to be the mediators for peace and unity. So spend time today to learn about those people. I mean, this is one big topic that I always look at and I say, I think we do not have that capacity for conflict resolution in this country. A lot of times we always speak violence. Now see the conversation between the Nigerian youth and the government. So instead of you to find creative ways to resolve the seeming conflict, you are using almost violence. Like a tyrannical, authoritative approach to say, you know what, don't do this, shut it down, blah, blah, blah. That's not how to resolve any conflict, even within family situation. Yeah. I mean, I can't just say, no, it's either my way or nothing, right? But so, go ahead.
Okay. No, Isi, go ahead.
No, let me say, I'm saying it from the, you mentioned the family situation.
Yeah.
I'm a divorced lady. And the reason why I'm divorced is because my ex-husband wanted it his way or the highway. And if you always want to be right, instead of just having peace and coming to a compromise, at the end of the day, someone is going to get strong enough to walk away or confront you. I walked away. Okay, I'm just talking about the families.
I understand.
Yeah.
But I will look at it from another perspective, worldwide, basically. Nothing has ever been resolved by fighting war or some sort of violence in any form or in any way. In the context that they still have to come back to the table to actually have that dialogue. And in the course of having that dialogue, that is where conflict mediation actually comes into play. So negotiation is paramount.
Always more powerful than
you having to fight. Exactly.
Mama, you want to say something?
Oh, well, I mean, it's a continuous conversation, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
And we say something, Toastmasters, we say feedback is the breakfast of champions.
Absolutely.
So when you begin to accept criticism, it's important because it helps you to grow. It helps you to know what is not working, and it helps you to understand the mind, the perception of who you are dealing with. The truth of it is that we are different human beings.
Absolutely.
And we see things from different perspectives. If we're not able to hear one another's perspective, then it will, like Laide rightly said, it's your way or the highway.
Absolutely.
Then it can result to conflict. And the best way to resolve conflict is being able to, like we have, of course, established so far, to have that dialogue where we can hear one another out, and then we can reach a compromise where we celebrate a win-win situation.
Absolutely.
And you also know that thing, just the simple exercise of having a 6 on the table. or on the
Absolutely.
floor, where you
Yes.
see the 6 and I see a
See the
9.
9.
And neither one of us
It's
is
all
wrong.
about perspective.
People
Absolutely.
don't tend to give other people that benefits.
Absolutely.
Makes sense. All right, so what are we starting with? Isi, for the life. What's your story?
Okay, what caught my attention?
It was a guest day.
No, let's save the best for last. Let's save the best for last. So I'm going to keep it short, and it's all about Rugged Man, who is talking about not giving his monies to any police officer currently because of the fact that, they've not treated Nigerians fairly, not since inception, basically. So he says, I will no longer give police officers my money, says Rugged Man. And this is as a result of the fact that he's tired of the way police officers actually treat Nigerian citizens. Now, another thing we should also take into cognizance is the fact that we do not, in quote, keep our documents when we have our documentations with our cars, or when those of us that have cars. Let me in quote. those of us that have cars, in quote, we do not tend to have our proper documentations, and that's when we are accosted by police officers. We tend to beg and look for ways to give them money and bribe them in the course of it. So it is important. We need to curb that concept.
No, you know the weekend. So
they always look for something.
I was on the phone with Norma, interestingly, one night, and I decided to take through Freedom Way. I think I shared it.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was driving. Like on that Freedom Way, they had maybe like 6 or 7 police checkpoints. Why?
Yeah.
I was wondering. So they were just parking cars. So when it got to my turn, park. I knew my documents were complete.
Yeah.
So he said, open your boot, that I should come down. I said, no. After that story we read about boot opening and police, I said, no, sir, please. We have information that we are not supposed to come down from our vehicles. I have pressed the button in my car, the boot is open. Go and look at it. He said, no, you have to follow me. I said, no, I'm sorry. He said, bring your papers. So I brought the papers out, everything. When he saw that this one,
it's not going to work.
It's not bad back. He said, just be going. Because he had so many people that they had packed
exactly
on the road. It was like 11 p.m.
Due to incomplete documentation.
Of course. So, like you rightly said, you also must not give them that room
to be able to
capitalize
on it
and take advantage of the situation.
Yeah, exactly. Your story.
All right, mine is an ongoing story, I think. Because it's from the Punch, and it has to do with what happened in Ebonyi State today, where schools and markets and banks and shops were shut down over IPOB sit-at-home order in Ebonyi State. And it was said that the exercise made it impossible for business to have its way in Ebonyi State, where even schools were shut down for between 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. and they were asked to sit at home with nobody moving around. It's still, we are yet to discover what exactly happened, but I hear stories about the fact that because Nnamdi Kanu was being arraigned today in court, that's part of the reason why this sit at home has taken place today. But we will find out more. I'm just wondering how this situation about IPOB is going to, what's the next step? Because if states are held under such siege, then it's becoming a problem that, or a situation of concern. So let's see how
it unfolds. And the fact that anybody, a group, can just decide to shut a state down, and there's nothing anybody can do.
That is not the state government.
They claim that is insecurity that they're protecting you from. That's why they say just obey the rules of that.
All right, so lady.
Yes.
Your turn.
You know me, I like to fight for the people that don't have a voice or the ones that have been bold enough to express what they feel. So you all heard the story yesterday of this guy, Patrick Eholo, from Canada, who had been, he was trying to talk to the journalist
and manhandled by the police.
I mean, we're still talking about NSAS. This is an anniversary of what allegedly ended lives of people.
Exactly.
They haven't been compensated, and then you're harassing somebody yet again. Well, he's been released today, thankfully. But the point is, it never should have happened.
In the first place.
Keep happening. I mean, I have children that are grown. If they were in Nigeria, I would assume with the kind of mindset they had, they would have wanted to come out for a protest, right? Should we be afraid that every time we have something to say, to speak up, we're going to get shot? And their children, the ones that give the orders, are never on the roads.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, some of them also realize that we're fighting for the same cause, but because of Rankadede and what they will get from these bosses, they don't do any speaking up.
You know, the interesting thing about this Patrick guy, you know, he kept saying that he left heaven and came to hell. I mean, and you know, you could see in the video that was flashed, his phone had been damaged by the police. So who was going to pay for those damages? You remember when Mr. Macaroni was manhandled when he came out for that other protest?
As well.
Yes, when he came out for the protest, the one after the October protest, there was another protest.
Another one that
you know, I think it was when they wanted to reopen the toll gate. I can't remember what was the reason for that protest. His phones too were broken. I mean, they were destroyed. So I mean, this situation of mistreating. I mean, if you had listened to the video, you know, he was saying that even if you are arrested, bro, you are not supposed to just, you know,
take their possessions.
Yeah, you not even only the possessions. You can't just manhandle people because you are arresting them. There should be some level of decorum. He said there was no place to pee, there was no whatever.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it's sad.
We've known this for decades. It's never changed in Nigeria. For somewhere like America where it happens, there's compensation to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
By the time the police station is being charged,
sued
and charged millions, they start sitting up.
They sit up.
Nobody does anything, and we have a legal system.
It's all about the
so where this police, why I'm taking this story, because it's quite interesting, and I'm just saying, for those that are listening, whoever sent police people to go and stay at the Lekki toll gate for 2 weeks, I mean, I think you'll be more needed where I'm about to say now. So the Senator Shehu Sani claimed that Bandit attacked the Kaduna Abuja train. They planted explosive, and that explosive damaged the train track, and they also opened fire on the driver. So it says yesterday, he tweeted this about 9 hours ago. So yesterday, Bandit attacked the Kaduna Abuja train. They planted an explosive that damaged the rail track and shattered the windshield of the train engine. They also opened fire targeting the driver and the tank. It happened between Dutse and Regina station. The driver struggled to move towards Kaduna Rigasa station. This early morning, I was on board when our train ran over the explosive damaged railings. Now, the train nearly skidded off its track when we miraculously escaped. All Kaduna Abuja train operation. He's suggesting now that they need to be suspended for today until the issue is addressed.
Absolutely.
So, yes, because this, you know why it's scary for me? My parents still live in Kaduna State, and every time Sanzi wants to go to Zaria, she's always using the train because the allegation is that the roads are terrible. They are they are kidnapping. They are safe. So people they shifted to using the train because it is supposed to be a safer route. Now, seeing this, I am scared because This is something that I would have even done because I was planning to go to Abuja, then take a train to Kaduna. You know, so this is really scary for me. So when we are deploying military guys to a toll gate that has no issues in terms of like security threats, know that there are real security issues, and this is where we need these people to be deployed. Absolutely. All right, so on that note, we're going to take a break. We're talking criticism today. All the way. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. Now, criticism is the practice of judging the merits and the faults of something. Criticism is especially beneficial at work because it shows that your managers and peers care about you and want to see you succeed. Receiving feedback, whether it's positive or negative, is a good thing because it just goes to show that your peers are invested in your future and they want to help you learn. Now, the definition of criticism is to express disapproval or literally analyzing something by taking a detailed look at the pros, cons, and merits. So when you tell someone he's lazy, for example, that's criticism. Just like when our president called us lazy youths. In my opinion, I think that woke us up all, you know, to act. And that action birthed the NSAS protest. So now back to our question for tonight. Is the Nigerian government, right? Is the Nigerian government open to criticism? This is a question. I really want, when we open our phone lines, for you to tell us, hey, yes, no, why, maybe. Now, please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-8038-4663. Of course, we are going to give you the floor. As our guest go anchor now. So do you think the Nigerian government is open to criticism?
Do you think the Nigerian government is open to criticism? We know the answer is no. We've seen it happen 3 generations.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've seen 2 generations, my parents and mine. I've seen our president that was there when I was in Form 1. Yeah, now that my children have finished university, same president, they're not open to criticism. Why do I say this? It's in every single thing. This loan that they claim they want to go get from the, is it International Monetary Fund?
IMF.
They would find justification for it. But we are saying that the funds that you've taxed us, federal level, state level, what have you done with it? That you now want to put us in debt again. And it's not your generation that will pay. You are buying debt for the next generation over and over again. That one is a major deal for me because there's so many schools that don't have sitting arrangements for children.
Absolutely.
Leaking roofs, no hospitals. We had an aspirant recently spent how many months? 4 months abroad for medical reasons. And you want to be a president?
Well, has he come out to declare that he's an aspirant?
Well, they're saying it, and you know
it's
how
just
this
speculation.
Okay, let's just say allegedly.
Yes.
Allegedly, he wants to be a president. But even having governed the state for 2 terms, having endorsed the next governors for the next maybe 16 years, and you still can't find a medical facility in Nigeria to serve the purpose that you require. And then you say, not that you haven't heard us say it, not that you haven't heard us complain, but you just turn your deaf ears to us, and they're like, as your guys would say, Ariwoja. It's just the noise of the market. They don't really matter in the scheme of things. They don't like criticism. They don't like confrontation. If you confront them, they shoot you. And they deny that anybody gave the order. I heard yesterday that they were thinking of giving compensation. Why give compensation when there hasn't been an admittance of guilt, of murdering kids? Who are you compensating? Because if I didn't do anything wrong, why am I compensating you? And every time we speak, they say we don't know what we're talking about. Even when the elites speak, the Femi Falanas and what have you, they say we don't know what we're, at least those ones went to school if I didn't go to school. So who then knows what we're talking about that can sit with you? Personally, I feel that if you have the ears of anybody in authority, to the point where you're even dining and whining with them, and you continue to wine and dine with them, take photo ops, and there's no change in their service, you're part of the problem.
Okay, on that note, let me move to Isi. So, well, the obvious answer to this question would be no. But I want to ask a question. have we criticized them right? Have we explained our pain? Have we gone to them? Because there's something such as constructive criticism.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Is it possible that it is what we have done that has created this block, this barricade that don't come close?
Now, first, let me respond to Lydie, where she talked about the fact that the federal government or the government we have in Nigeria has been in power for God knows when, and we still have the same person in government or doing one thing or the other in government in Lagos State currently. A friend of mine said that Lagos has had one governor since 1999. And I totally agree.
I agree.
I totally agree with that. And another thing we need to understand is that instead of it to get better, it is getting worse. People are complaining, people are tired, and they're tired of listening to lies. Have we criticized them properly? That question is based on our emotions. We have tried to talk to them, we have tried to appeal to them, but they seem not to listen to us. So, in the cause of that,
You're dodging my question.
I'm not. Nigerians, we are emotional people.
Yes, but in that emotion, have we criticized them?
I'm going somewhere.
Go.
In the cause of us being emotional, we tend to look for a way to pass our message across, to make sure that the government listens to us. And when we try to do that, we explode in the cause of it. So we just say everything that comes to our mind in the cause of it. Now, there is a saying that when you're angry, don't say too much. But when we are angry, that's when we say a lot. And in the cause of saying that, the government will say, oh, you people want to dare me, we will see how far this will go.
Take it as a challenge.
Do you understand? And another thing is this, the government isn't as matured as they should be, because they're supposed to play the big brother role and the father role, because you're dealing with children. I mean, they're supposed to be the ones leading us. So sometimes a child will tell the father, I don't like what you're doing to me. And the father will say, oh, what happened? What can I do better? But in this case is, okay, shut up.
I don't care.
Believe what, just do what I want you to do, and I don't care what you have to say. So do you expect that child to look at you as a role model? Totally no, sir.
No, my father. So, this is interesting. Okay, so now I hear you, Isi, and I hear you 100%. I mean, I remember having a conversation, I think it was with Marianne yesterday, because we did a little bit of the NSAS conversation on her platform on Habs TV. And I was saying to her that is it possible by some stroke of whatever chance that something has rubbed off on the style of governance, which is the culture that we already have in Africa that says do not question your elders. Just when the elder is always right. Is it possible that we have also moved that culture into the style of governance, that it's also saying that when you come to a government or you come to a leader with a criticism to say this thing is like a scorecard, I'm seeing some errors here. You're making a lot of errors.
Absolutely.
They see it more like an attack on their person, like an insult, like you have no right, to talk back at them, or they see it more from that angle of the eye of I'm older than you, I'm whatever than you. You do not have that right. Just keep quiet and do whatever it is that I say. Do you see that playing out in the style of governance that we're having in Nigeria? As of today?
Well, I started off earlier to say that, feedback is very important and constructive criticism is a good thing. However, I also see culture. I agree with you that culture plays a significant role in what we see today in our government, where we cannot separate leadership from, and I would also beg to differ with Isi at this point where you said that you were to be seen as children. people are not your children. They are citizens that you have pledged to take care of or to serve. Now, when you talk about governance, it's important that we note that the essence of governance is to ensure the welfare of the people. That means part of it is listening. And this is a skill that is highly lacking in even just general everyday living. Then we now bring it into governance. More people than often more people talk before they listen. Less people listen before they talk. So you find out that everybody has something to say, but who is really listening? The government is not listening. Sometimes the people are not even listening.
Most times,
and that is why it's, like we were talking, we said it's important for people to dialogue. Let me hear what you have to say, and then let me also air my views, so that at some point we're able to reach a compromise. So where culture comes in is how rulership has been. I mean, from the dictatorship that we experienced before 1999 to even those who have been our leaders since then. I don't know whether it's because of their military background for most of them, because it's not all of them that have that. But somehow, culture played a significant role in saying, where we see them making decisions and saying, okay, this is what we're deciding to do, and we are not bending, we're not shifting. And you want to bring it back to governance. What is the objective of governing a people? Is to be able to carry them along, is to be able to protect their rights. So when these behaviors come to the fore, it is seen or it is perceived to give off the message that the people are not really your objective. So I see a lot of culture playing out, and I wish that we can evolve from where we are in governance to true leadership, which is about service, which is about empathy, which is about being able to connect with the people that you're serving, which is about consideration.
Absolutely.
Because if I should ask the question, if you as a leader were a citizen, how would you want your voice to be heard?
Thank you.
Most of the time, we do not see it from the perspective of the other person. And I love when Laide brought it in, the 6 and 9 perspective, because perception is projection. What I see, that's how I'm going to see it.
Absolutely.
That's the filter I'm going to see things through until I'm able to cross over to the other side to see it from the perspective of the citizen. So leader, how are you seeing things from the perspective of the citizen? Also, it's a dual case. Citizen, how are you also seeing things from the perspective of a leader?
They don't see things
Leadership is not easy at all. Sometimes the people may not even know what is good for them. Now, it is the responsibility of a leader to be able to, in dialogue, in understanding, with respect, be able to convey your opinions in such a way that your followers or your citizens can see the direction that you are taking them. And that's where visionary leadership comes in, where you're able to paint the picture of the kind of future that your citizens are able to desire and see and work towards.
You're on fire today.
She's speaking of the ideal. But we know we're in the ideal.
You know
of course, so it will take a process.
Let's hold on that, because I love what you came in the passing when you said that it seems like here governance seems like, leadership seems like you're doing us a favor. That's why you build road and you come and tell us to come and clap for you because you built a road. This is your job you're doing. I love how you address this thing. We're not their children, we're their citizens. And we are the ones that employ them. We are the ones that so you need to serve us. You know what? But you know what? Let's go for a very quick break. When we return, we want to open the phone lines. Today we want to hear what you are saying. We want to hear you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
the place and it brighten. Make everybody be wonder. Waiting because of the shine. Lush hair. Long hair or short doesn't matter. Crochet or dreadlocks can be better. Only for girls we know better. Lush hair. So you want to slay? Slay with swag. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair. Straight or curly. You know they tango. Lie. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair.
Beautiful people know how to make an impression, and that's why they only trust Lush Hair Extensions to bring out the shine in them. Lush Hair, be beautiful.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, if you just tuned in, we are having an amazing conversation. It's our ladies' night out, and we're asking, right, is our government open to criticism? Now, please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. Now, our phone line is now open. Please, when you call us, turn off the volume of your television set so we can hear ourselves. Now, the number to call is 070-2500-7749. That's the number to call, 070-2500-7749. I mean, this has been an interesting conversation, right? I love that angle that, you know, everyone has come out from. And I like the particular emphasis on the role of the citizen. We are citizens, we're not your children. And this is what we see play out even in workplaces.
Yes.
Where a boss now begins to look at you like I'm your child. No, you are my boss. So the way you would expect me to act to my father so can be different, professional. And that's why some companies now started that first name basis where they say all those auntie or uncle, you know, so you don't get carried away, because this culture comes and it creeps into, you know, the workspace, and it completely destroys, you know, the work environment, because now you're not able to separate work from personal life.
This culture,
you know. But we have our first caller.
Yes.
Peter from Benin. Obota.
Peter.
Yeah, good evening.
Hi, Peter. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, good evening. Happy day to everyone on the sector.
Thank you.
Fantastic day to you.
Yeah. Well, you asked the question whether we criticize the government in a positive way. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, now the question I want to reverse is the government ready for positive criticism? Now the question is, the level of impunity in this country is so high. What is the primary responsibility of any government? The first one is protection of life
and property.
Before you now start talking about the standard of living. Let's take our mind back to 1983 to 1985 that Buhari was the military president. There was a program that was called Law Against Discipline.
Yep.
We all knew how Nigerians were disciplined. It boils down to leadership. Even if we have a problem with leadership and followership, if the leadership is on justice, is right, the followers will follow. God bless the life of Rollins of Ghana. He once made a statement that after what he did in Ghana, that they want to create a system that even if the devil comes to Ghana,
they can never.
He will be so scared not to do what is wrong to the citizens of Ghana.
Exactly.
Nigeria, we must learn to do what is right. We always rationalize mediocrity. We must be open to positive criticism, like the woman said. Feedback is key for any organization to succeed. Feedback is the foundation that you need to make what is wrong right.
Absolutely.
And finally, for me to end, the very day we start creating strong institutions to check impunity, when they criticize you positively, you will take it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Not even criticizing positively. That's paying you compliments and, you know, playing, you know, just kissing your derriere. But criticism doesn't have to be positive the way you put it. I may want to point out a flaw. It's not going to be pleasant. But if you're humble enough to at least think on it,
Swallow
it, mull on it, and wonder, is the intent to hurt or to correct?
Or to make you better.
Or even to make you see things from a different perspective. Because the fact that you want to tell the child, don't touch a candle light, and the child does not understand that this thing would burn. At times you let them touch and burn, they don't remember it burns again. But when I say, I'm about to touch this candle light and I smack you, I'm not smacking you because I want to hurt you. But how you're going to get hurt touching the candlelight is going to be worse than me spanking you. So can we not just spank the government every once in a while? Why does it have to be, we bring chopsticks to discuss with you. You bring knife and bazooka.
Cutlass.
As in,
let me take
machete.
Two extremes. You know, let me take Loma the prophet from Abia State, I believe. Thank you for calling. Thank you.
Yeah, this is Loma the prophet.
From Umwaya.
See, it depends on the type of leadership you have that can entertain individuals. Well, if you have a tolerant leader, the leader that is filled with human kindness, you will take to individuals because individuals make one to do right. If you are going your own way, individuals will make you to return back to your one way and follow the right path. But we don't have full democratic system. What you see is the person at the end of the day or the people that work with you refusing or not allowing a system. But what I don't like as a person is selfish criticism. Constructive criticism. Criticize ourselves the government. Look at the way we do it. Look at the way we do it. Not after criticizing, we will not show them the way out.
The solution. Makes sense.
Absolutely.
The present administration, because they are still having that military mentality. That is why they won't allow the citizens. Until they now come back and know that we are now in democracy and we are a democratically elected government. Without that, telling me they will not accept the citizens. I pray our president will know that it's a democratically elected government so that we will accept the citizens and those sitting candidates that work with him will know that in democracy.
Thank you so much, Loma.
So much passion.
It also helps us go easy.
So for me, what actually also resonated with me in this topic is the fact that our government, the way they accept criticism, also they accept compliments.
Yes.
They should also accept criticism.
that way.
Because ownership is all about taking everything. The good, the bad, the ugly, the worst, the whole works. So that was just resounding in my head that, look, the government needs to take responsibility for everything, whether it's criticism, whether it is
well, let's ask a question,
compliment.
though. Why is it that all the time when the government is criticized, why do they see it as an attack on their political career or their political office, or that you're trying to topple their government?
There is a saying that defense is the best form of what? So you attack is the best form of defense. Yes. So you attack first without even thinking. Like she said, they're not listening. What they just picked is what you've already given to them.
To respond, not to
actually assimilate. Exactly. Yeah. So it's essential that we also take that into cognizance.
I was going to say, I think our governments, please pardon me, I'm a Yoruba girl, so I will use some Yoruba terms, have an Oraisa approach to dealing with us. Do you understand? There's never any, what did you mean by that? If I misunderstood you, please explain. So that I can tell you why I did things this way.
Okay.
And maybe you would agree with me, or we could even try it out my way, even though you don't agree with me, for this period of time. If it doesn't bring the results that I thought it was going to bring, and the reason why I took the decision to go that way, then we can, change it around and teach people a paradigm shift and have them see things another way.
You know what?
It is also said that, okay.
Sorry, let me take
Let's take it.
It's been holding for a while for Port Harcourt. Abi, right? Charles from Port Harcourt, thank you for calling.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, Charles. Thank you so much for calling.
Where is what's her name?
LC?
Uti.
Okay.
Uti is our home.
Okay, so the leadership as we have it here is really, I don't even know how I'm going to put it. People we have in offices, I don't like calling them leaders because what we have here, they don't really demonstrated what, they don't demonstrate the capacity to actually call them leaders because they're actually doing the opposite of what is supposed to be an ideal leader in quotes. You're supposed to be a public service. If you're bringing yourself forward for public service, you're supposed to accept whatever angle is coming from, whether positive or criticisms or negative criticism or whatever it might be. Yeah. If you're bringing yourself for public office, it's a public office, not your personal office. Unfortunately, what we have here is that when you try to correct, because I was supposed to, what I mean, in an ideal leadership, you're supposed to accept whatever angle it comes from. It was supposed to make you to improve if you're not doing very well, and it was supposed to make you sit up. There was a question you asked. You said whether if we are being fair with about
how we are criticizing them. Yeah,
we are being very fair. Nigerians are one of the most patient people in the world. Some of the things we tolerate in this country, some other people in the other world cannot tolerate it. You can see situation whereby one or two governors do one or two things. We say, hey, that one has tried, though. He has done very well, at least. We give them excuses. We even try to even cover up some areas. Unfortunately, when you do something, when you do something and you try to say, okay, this one is not good, they come after you, they cut you down. Unfortunately, how can democracy try to control the environment? It doesn't. Sometimes when I complain about some of these things, I feel very bad because I know how it's happening in another world and how those people take their own thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I was going to say something.
I need to commend Nigerians because other countries in Africa have gone to war for far less than what we've been through.
True.
I think the love of agape for fellow man in Nigeria makes us say maybe we shouldn't go to war. But I've said it many times, and I'm not trying to incite violence. A revolution may have to happen for things to be shaken up. But as in what I said, and I say again, Rwanda, Sierra Leone and everything, the things they've gone to war for, and the death and the kind
and not as bad as what is currently happening.
We've gotten used to it at this point. And we keep saying, it go better, it go better. You know, nobody wants, like Fela sang in his song, if you say that you want to make a change, and you're worried about your farm, you're worried about your old woman in the house that you're taking care of, and you're worried about, I just begin Mario, this is not the time for me to stand up for anybody. Who's going to make this change?
Absolutely. Let me come to Norma, then I'll come back to you, Isi. No problem. I've not heard her in a minute.
It's a very heavy conversation, right? Yes. Because when I think leadership, and I totally agree with Charles and some of his views this evening. I mean, when I look at the other countries, and this is not me comparing in any form. Do we have a call? Okay.
Yes, we do. Sorry, let's I'll come back to you. Basi from Port Harcourt, when we open the phone lines, it's actually difficult for us to talk. Thank you, Basi, for calling. Let's hear what you have to say, please. Basi, are you there? You're live. Did we lose him? Okay, Norma, go ahead.
Right. So when I see take for example, Biden, when he came in to authority, immediately there were backlashes about things some of the policies about COVID and some of the things that he was already doing. And he received, I mean, of course, when they have press conferences, they are asking you questions about things that you said that you're going to do. How come we've not seen that? And he continued to focus on what was important. He acknowledged the fact that, these questions needed answers. And we will continue to give answers as we have results. Right? So part of a leader, a great leader, is part of the qualities of a great leader is being open-minded. First of all, is an assignment, is not an entitlement. It's not a right. Therefore, if you are pledged to work for people or to make sure that the people that you're responsible for, you're also pledged to be accountable to them. And you have to be open-minded to whatever concerns that they have. You have to listen. I keep reiterating that you have to listen as a leader, because sometimes what you think is good for them may not necessarily be what they want.
Okay, so let's bring it home, because we are actually running out of time. Let's bring it home. Do you see a future, and I'll come to you, EC, then I'll come back to Lady and then normal wrap up.
Yeah.
Do you see a future where there would be a time in this country where we can actually sit, to have a dialogue? But I think I have a call. Ebere, are you there? Just hold that thought. No problem. Go on the question. Ebere, are you there? Thank you for calling. You're live from Imo State. We have a lot of Eastern brothers today.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, go ahead. You're live.
Good evening, my sister.
Hi.
Good evening.
Can we compare when Jonathan was in administration? Good Lord, Jonathan. You see the type of position the government has there. People dismanage him, they get him out of them, they criticize him. I remember our Nigerian government after never carried. They gave him out of them. He accepted it because he loved Nigeria. He accepted it because he wanted to make a game. He accepted it because he wants to turn things around. But he's still competing now with the present administration. You know, the present government is not opposite of Jonathan administration. How I wish our president would go away from Jonathan's leadership mind and accept the people so that the government will turn around to become a good government. Thank you very much.
Let Nama quickly wrap up. Thank you so much. It cannot end. Nama quickly. Oh, no, it was Isi.
No, Isi was there.
Sorry.
Isi,
I was on Isi. So do we see that possibility?
I'm looking at it from the perspective of idealism and realism. Now, idealism is on the context that we have an idealistic society where we have good leaders, where we have leaders who listen and pay attention and care about their people. But in realism, which is what we are actually facing, our reality, we have talked about it from different points of view, which is our culture, our traditions, the perspective of the 9 and the 69, the 9 and the sex, basically. And we've also looked at it from the perspective of us, the people, being emotional when we actually express ourselves. So in context, reality is, our reality is that until we as a people whip our leaders to shape by actually holding them accountable when we criticize them, yes, and holding them accountable and criticizing them in the way or the language, I don't want to use that context, in the way that they would understand, that is when we will have that conversation.
Lady is itching to talk.
Yes.
So you're correct.
Yes.
As
the reality
unfortunate as
is not
it
going to
is
work.
that all the people that represent us, probably possibly all, act like there was a brain chip
taken
inserted
out
in their minds, where they all lie down, sleep in the same direction. You cannot all see things the same way.
Yes.
I don't want to believe that everybody that is in government sees us as having spoken the language in a way that wasn't acceptable for them to, it wasn't palatable to their ears. Do you understand? It's a bunch of people. They can't all be thinking the same way. There'll be certain people there thinking, these people have a point, but I'm being stifled. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
Where you find the one that has a good intention, but he's being stifled. Nigerians also are like the Egyptians, or the Israelites rather, where they wanted to leave Egypt. They got into the wilderness and they said, oh, Egypt was better when we were coming. There's no government in this country since I was born, 48 years old, that they haven't complained about. It's when they have benefit of hindsight that they will come up with a Jonathan was better than what we're going through now. When Obasanjo was there, Baba goes slow. When Aida was there, and then we are. When every single one they've experienced, they've had a complaint about. But when they now leave, they now say, oh, and it was actually better. That's sense they have to receive. That's the reality.
That's why I mentioned earlier that sometimes the citizens are not even sure of what they want. So that is where a great leader can come in, where you can direct the people in, you can be visionary in such a way that you can direct them in the way that they need to go.
Yeah.
It's going to be a process of time, and it's going to take people that are willing, people that have a heart for the nation. I'm not sure about the leaders that we have today, but we need to be able to raise people that have a heart for the nation, know where the nation is to be, and will guide the people through that process, bringing them.
Of leadership is what is critically.
It's very important.
You know what? Let me take our final call. Sorry, Onoche from Kogi State, I believe. Thank you for calling us.
Hello.
Hi, you're live. Thank you for calling. Let's hear what you have to say.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening, first time caller to your program.
Thank you for calling.
Good evening to all of you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, I like your theme of whether the government is open to
criticism.
But I just want to look at it from another angle that criticizing government might not be the only option at this time. But there are more to it. I think we should be talking about how we can create a strong institution. Because that's what should be key to us at this time.
Yep.
Because the amount of criticizing government could not, it can't give us the desired journey that we want to go. It will not make government to even do otherwise. And by the time that, even when we must criticize, it is equally important that you look at it from another perspective. Is the man giving, even at the lower level of the job, doing his own things right? So we have a lot of problem at times. So my contribution here, the main point I want to make is that we
institutions
should be heading towards a call for a strong institution.
Thank you so much.
Rather than say people should be on the streets to start.
And I think he's the
government also.
Thank you so much. I think, Onichi, you're also the second person talking about institutions.
Yeah.
Somebody had called earlier to talk about institutions. And someone also called to say that solutions, right? Don't just criticize. Give solutions. I remember when Governor Ambode was in power, and I was on a particular show where myself and Lydie were on.
Yeah.
And there was this bad traffic. That was when we were still building our house in Abuja. So it was hell coming. So one day I went on air and I said, why do you, it's a simple thing. Why don't you just, the traffic on that road is horrible. Do a flyover. By the next week, they had set up everything. That's the Abuja bridge that you have there. That there's the Jubilee Bridge, that there's a flyover. So
they took that feedback.
Yeah, so while you are criticizing, I would suggest that put a solution. And I would like to say that the way criticism is given professionally, in a professional manner, is called a sandwich approach.
Absolutely.
A sandwich is you will put the soft thing, you praise the
Tell
person,
them what
they're doing right, then you
give recommendations.
Place it with the problem in the middle, and recommend them again, finish up again with another commendation. If you do that sandwich approach, there's nobody that you use that method on that they will not sit down to think about it. But we have
be willing to listen to
the
2 minutes,
recommendations. So should we give it to our?
Give it to
her,
please.
If you want to see me again, call in and ask me. They need to put ego aside. They need to have humility. They need to have integrity. They need to be noble. In a nutshell.
Go ahead.
They need to be noble. In a nutshell. Everybody knows what is right and wrong. But we know that Nigerians in power are enjoying something that makes it hard for them to do the right thing.
Yes.
Let me leave it at that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Integrity.
I think we've had a fantastic conversations, ladies. Thank you, Lydie, for doing this. Thank you, Issy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Nama Ifanga, as always. We've had a fantastic conversation.
Absolutely.
Please. This conversation was just to open up a dialogue point where we can start to think. We as citizens, we criticize the government, but are we doing it right? If we're not doing it right, we need to also start looking at a different approach. I love the conversations, all the contributions. Let's think of institutions. Let's think of solutions. Let's think of so many things. We will get this country right, whether they like it or not.
Yes.
We get there. All right, so before we go, do ensure you follow us on Instagram. It's @WayShowAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, we're planning a giveaway to say thank you to you
for believing in the Ways brand and following the conversation. So do well to follow us now. Is at Ways Show Africa. Like, share, invite your family and friends to watch and follow the conversation. Now, if you missed today's quote, again, here it is. Without debate, without criticism, no administration or no country can succeed, and no republic can survive. Right? Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive. Think about this. It's very important. We have to sit down and find constructive ways to move our country forward. We'll see you guys tomorrow as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.
Good night.
Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on PlusTvAfrica, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 8408, or send an email to marketing@PlusTvAfrica.com. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
The hair industry is a multi-million naira business in Nigeria. The industry has experienced impressive growth in recent years, from the sale of hair extensions, wigs,